Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on the outlaw Johnny Black, starring Michael J. White as, yeah, it's Dolomite. It's Black Dynamite. Not Dolomite, Black Dynamite. Michael J. White did this character who's a parody of black exploitation guys. Or was he a real guy? I don't even remember, but no, I don't think it was a real guy. Dolomite was the real guy. Black Dynamite is this character who's supposed to be kind of like Dolomite. And so it's basically one of the movies he made as if he made it back in the 70s. So it's a Western with a black protagonist in a black exploitation film, but in the West, where he's just the greatest dude ever, and it's written and directed by Michael J. White. So it looks funny. They do the let's see, coming soon, so they don't have distribution, but this will be a fun summer movie, I think. If you haven't seen a blaxploitation film back in the 70s, here they do the bit from Blazing Saddles where somebody punches a horse. That's fun. If you haven't seen a blaxploitation movie back in the 70s, one of the hot trends back then was, and there's going to be another movie like this called They Clone Tyrone, which is going to be in this sort of subgenre. It was a subgenre of film where it was movies for black audiences, because in the 70s being black was getting to be super cool and everybody wanted to be black. So they did a series of movies which only the cool people saw, and black audiences essentially, where they would be basically black cast, and it would be like Jackie Brown, or this is one, I forget her name, the last name was Cleopatra. There would be these, basically they would be black protagonists like fighting against the man, the establishment, the man, and it would always have kung fu. They really don't have the hippie stuff in it too much, because that was starting to go away right around then, but there'd be drugs and gangsters and stuff, but this is going to be a Western. So, but it's going to be purposely bad, but bad funny is the idea. This one, because it's a parody of those genres. Those genres, like Shaft was one of them, the original Shaft. Like those genres, they were kind of cool and meant to be taken serious, but some of them were so over the top and poorly done that they were funny unintentionally. They did, I think In Living Color did a parody of these too, I want to say. Some sketch show. But Michael J. White has made a bit of a career with this character, because he had Black Dynamite, and then he did a cartoon which was pretty good too on Adult Swim based on the same character. And so now they made a whole movie as if that character, this is like one of his movies. So I'm sure the conceit will be something like they're re-releasing his movie, or either that or he's sort of like trapped in time, still doing the same blaxploitation movies, and the bad guys will all be white, but it's supposed to be a parody. It's a parody. I have to emphasize that. It's not meant to be taken seriously. So maybe some of the woke idiots will go see it thinking it's serious. I don't know. But I worked on by the way, a blaxploitation role-playing game. So the whole role-playing game was you make a character that would be in one of these movies, and then you go on an adventure where you fight the man, and everybody gets a blaxploitation name. My blaxploitation character name was Tyrone Dynamite, oddly enough, so it's kind of close. There was just 70s like slang, street slang, thrown in with some, wild clothes. There's like the pimp clothes, I guess you'd call them, those kind of clothes, and big cars. And so I think this will be fun. I mean, Michael J. White is really good in this role. So I could see it sustaining itself for 90 minutes. I think it'd be worth saying. He's very funny in the show and the other movie. I mean, it was good. So, yeah, I'm totally down to say it. The 3 acts, well, it kind of doesn't matter. I think I'm going to guess it probably follows sort of loosely the Outlaw Josie Wales, right? Because it's essentially a parody movie, and so in comedy, you're better off following the structure of another movie that's really strong, right? Because then you can make fun of that movie, and you can make fun of other movies too. It doesn't matter. So, but I think it's a western, so it's pretty easy to parody. I mean, the first act will be introducing the character coming into town. It's being oppressed by some gang or some group of people, but then Johnny Black, who's on a previous adventure, ends up in the town for whatever reason, and now he gets caught up in the events in the town, and I think at some point they capture him and try to hang him, but he escapes. And then the second act, he spends all his time like sort of rallying his forces and trying to defeat the man in this case. And then by the end of the movie, and then there'll always be some hot chicks. That's another thing with Black Dynamite. So there'll be a love interest, and then the climax of the movie, of course, the bad guys get wind of his love interest and they kidnap her, and he has to save her, and that'll probably be the climax. But it kind of doesn't matter in a comedy as long as it sort of follows that structure, and builds. The important thing is that the bits are funny, because funny bits will take you to the next funny bit, and as long as it keeps upping the ante. So the beginning of this movie, it should start out slow and relatively neutral, and then slowly ramp up until by the end it's just crazy insane. So there's some kung fu in it. And Michael Jai White looks good in the role. He's muscular, he's right age, and so I think this has got everything going for it. I'm sure we'll see like bad things. It'll be purposely poorly directed, so there'll be shots in the background. You'll see buildings and microphones and stuff. So yeah, I would totally see this. The Outlaw Johnny Black. I don't think it has a release date yet. Yeah, no more info here. But this would be a good summer movie. Like, this would be great to see like on Memorial Day weekend or something. With your friends, group of people, go out and just see it, have a good laugh. And if not, definitely catch it on video, I would say. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. I will be at the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey, Saturday from 10 to 5 for the big free comic book day ceremonies. And then on Sunday in LBI at the LBI Book Swap at 2 p.m. to do a book signing there. So hope to see you there, and we'll see you